Welcome to the Coach's Decision. Disclaimer. The views, language, and candor expressed on this series are designed to provoke thought and conversation amongst adults. Some opinions and perspectives may be unsuitable for those who are emotionally weak. Viewer discretion is advised.
What's up, Coach? We have another comment or question in form of a comment, and it pretty much reminds me of the song Aaliyah was singing called "We Need a Resolution." So, and in the song, she asked a question: "Am I supposed to change, or are you supposed to change?" And I think Keith Sweat had the best answer when he said, "Nobody supposed to change."
I thought you was gonna say it's a right and a wrong way.
Nobody. So we both know this very wise gentleman named Gary, and he said, in order to change people, you got to change people. And if I could add something to that, you can either leave the relationship to change a person, but if you are committed to the relationship, you grow with people. You don't change them. So I know we kind of talked about this before, or we touched on it. Like, which episode was it?
Session 7. It was your session number 7 of 12, where we talked about contracts. In that context, we talked about contracts being beyond just legal documents that you write out, but verbal and understood contracts about how people treat you, should treat you, respect you, disrespect you, things of that nature, and how you have to charge people with being in breach of contract and dissolve relationships when people continue to break the contract.
Okay.
There's an
Yeah.
understood or an implied level of reciprocity and respect that should be had in any relationship, but we didn't go deep into the romantic relationship part of it. And when we
Okay.
talk about change and evolution, um, that's tough because we also talked about making sure professionally. I know your sessions were professional in nature, but they really were over encompassing of everything. You have to ground or align yourself with people that's vibrating on your frequency in order to amplify yourself. We talked about the fact that a good woman is an amplifier. She
Mhm.
doesn't complete you or is the other half.
Right.
You're already a whole person, and then she
Mhm.
comes in and amplifies whatever you plan.
Right.
In the idea of if you are no longer, think about this. If you were a woman and she's changing in the wrong direction. Theoretically, based on what I've said, you're amplifying her change. You're
Yeah.
actually contributing to it
Mhm.
because as soon as if you in a car with her and y'all headed to X destination, Whole Foods, and y'all go to Whole Foods all the time, and for some reason this day, she turns left or does a turn that she doesn't normally do, the first thing you're going to do is say, "Where are we going?"
Mhm. Right.
Because I thought we were going to Whole Foods. And then she got some explaining to do, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But some people feel like ignorance is bliss, and I trust you blindly. And we talk about the Adam and Eve thing where they say he should have asked, but that's because we know better now to ask questions. In the idea of it's not just blissful, you do have your own discernment. If it's a situation where I just trust wherever she's going to take me, you absolve yourself of complaining about the destination when y'all show up at Chuck E. Cheese or the crack house.
Krakow. Uh, so she changed the contract if there was a contract to go to Whole Foods.
That is absolutely correct. She was in breach. She was in breach. And that should have
Uh,
been where you show out, you get woe out. That should have been addressed immediately.
but what about the people who you have a contract to go to Whole Foods? They express a desire for you to want to go to Walmart, and then you keep going to Whole Foods.
Yeah, that's
I
tough
think
because
that's what Miss Aaliyah was talking about. Who's
yeah,
supposed
that
to
is
change?
absolutely. Absolutely. I think that wanting something for the sake of wanting it is not good enough when you're in a partnership where you should have transparency and respect someone enough to explain why what we were doing or what we was on is no longer good enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
But when you ask that question or you put that together, either you're putting it as an ultimatum because they'll allow for you into Walmart by yourself.
Yeah.
How about this? I'll go to when it's time to grocery shop. I like groceries. I like these groceries from Whole Foods. You like these from Walmart. You go there and I go here.
Hmm.
That's a that's a compromise
Right.
in my world.
Yeah.
It's not a I give up Walmart or I give up half of Whole Foods and we going. We don't always have to do everything together. That's number one.
Right.
If you got to explain to me what changed because I didn't notice it. I didn't realize I've been at Whole Foods with you every Saturday. How did you even find out about Walmart? What was going on? Like,
That's a good point. How did you find out? How
yes,
did you start wanting me to be this new person
yes,
who went
yes,
to Walmart?
absolutely.
Do you think that's the outside influencing, making
Social.
people
We it's easy nowadays to just go ahead and say it's social media.
social media?
Social media told
So,
me that this dude does this for his girl, and you've never done that for me because you've never been that girl. Like, what are we talking? Like, if the math is real simple to me. You've never asked that of me. You married me without that.
right?
You sleep with me without that. Like, there's never been a reason for me to do that except you synced it one time. And now you feel like you too should have rose petals sometimes when you come home from work, lining its way to the tub.
So if the dude always wear Adidas, but
Yes.
you've been on social media looking at Nikes and you want him to wear Nikes now because you think he's at the age where he should wear Nikes, he should have evolved to Nikes. Like what do you do?
Man,
Do
I
you
think
just quit wanting?
here's the situation. You have to evaluate why you really want this. And I'll give you a true story, and I'll get in trouble for it later, and it's okay. I care about y'all that much. I am not a colorful guy. My colors are pretty basic. Sometimes you'll see a pop here or a pop there, not by my design, it's just by a level of compromise over the years. But when I first started dating my wife, she said, I bought you some shirts.
Hmm.
Cool. She had known me for a long time, seen me in my gear,
Hmm.
but in her mind, I would look good in salmon. I would
Hmm.
look good in croquet. I would look good in food colors, right?
Asparagus. Right.
In Rice Krispies, right? I would look good in Rice Krispie white, right? So, so she bought these shirts, and they was all in these metro kind of colors, and I was like, oh yeah, these ain't gonna get no run at all. At most, they would get run when I'm around you, like the grandma sweater. You know, some stuff your grandma used to buy
Oh
you
yeah,
wear
yeah, yeah,
when
yeah.
she around or when we go over there. But other than that, oh, I'm not wearing a jean jacket with my name sewn into it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'll wear it around her. And so in the idea of I told her up front, she did either she was thinking of me as someone else. I felt young me. Oh, she trying to dress me like another dude. She
Oh,
me.
that was the social media.
She's trying to dress me up like Ken. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not Ken. And but I stood up for myself and expressed that this is not what I see myself as. Now, my attractiveness was good enough to get you to this point. If you're saying that I was only attractive for 6 months worth of you, and in order for me to augment or ornament my attractiveness, I got to start dressing like Farnsworth Bentley,
Hmm.
we're not going to make it anyway. I'm not getting an umbrella. I'm not wearing wingtip shoes. I'm not doing like so. I'm not wearing a bow tie. It's just certain things that's just not in my a bolo tie. Like certain, I understand that some things are attractive, but the one thing about women is women are prisoners of their current emotion,
Hmm.
and when they shift their emotion, they shift their spirit and energy to whichever way their emotion now aligns, and that's hard for a man to keep up with. There's certain things that we had this conversation where she outgrew the furniture. And I'm telling my guys, like, hey, I'm about to buy some new furniture. Like, man, your furniture is good. She's emotionally moved on. And my boy David, who's getting married this weekend, congratulations, David. David didn't want to understand what I was saying. That was good for he ended up buying the furniture, right? Because he was
Yeah.
like, and I was like, bro, this is not a fight I'm willing to engage in. She's emotionally moved on. I don't give a damn how good that furniture is. She knows it's not good enough for whatever. I don't know if she saw it somewhere or her mom. I don't know what the reason was. I do know this. There were other fights to be had. There was other fights to be had. Let's get this leather couch. Let's get this ottoman and get this whatever it was. And that happens. You've been around enough women to know when they change their mind about the decor, they're not
Yeah,
coming off of it. It's
yeah,
just,
yeah.
but it's the same way about a lot of different things. But you got to give a man grace and explain. And the problem is, she couldn't explain to me why her spirit had left the furniture she picked out. She could not explain that to me, nor did I demand that from her at that time because I knew there were other battles to be fought later. But
I sort of agree with her.
okay.
I know her timeline was probably faster than I would have liked, but I think it's not danger, but I don't know what to call it, for grandma to still have the couch with the plastic over it. If you don't evolve, what if she wanted to keep that couch forever? The other extreme, ain't
I
something
agree.
wrong with that?
I agree. A shark has to keep swimming even when they sleep. But the
Okay,
concept of it is the contract. So this is what happened.
well, let me ask you about Cam too before
Go
you
ahead.
tell me, because I think you probably answer both. If Cam Newton is 80, can he still dress like that?
Yes, he has to. He in too deep. He in too deep. This Jay Reed territory.
Women should not expect him to evolve.
What she should expect him to do is to his arm shouldn't be out. Okay.
Well, let's start with that.
He
He keeps his arm out at 80, and she started getting mad saying he's supposed to change. Should he?
I think that I think that what she should do is be willing to explain to him how it makes her feel and how other people are perceiving it because this is the situation. I don't know Cameron Newton enough to know if Cameron Newton is doing this because this is what he truly believes and likes and loves, or if he's doing it to impress others. I'm going to tell a story that I just told today on a business call, and he does not mind me telling this story to you, audience. My brother in law will see a cologne, put it on himself, smell it, and love it, invest in it. And if he doesn't get enough compliments in a short period of time, the
Mhm.
cologne is no good to him. It's dead to him. And it's like, wait a second, that you love that joke, that what is it? Byredo. You love like we talking about like $200, $300, $400 cologne. Yeah,
Mhm.
man, we was there, you got it, you put it on, you was like, oh yeah, that's me. That's me. And then you went to church or you went to a setting and only two chicks said something, and you was like, oh, that cologne's a dud. The hell are we doing? You probably should have got a sampler and put it on and then walked in crowds and seen what the focus group said before you invested three, four. The moral of the story is he's okay with the fact that he does it for the likes and the thumbs up. A
Okay.
lot of people act like they don't. They act like they're not being driven and motivated by social media or by what their girlfriends, aunties, and sisters say. They act like their relationship is not being lived for the appreciation or acceptance of others. Like when you buy her gifts, it's not for other people. It's just for her. It's rare that I bought a woman a gift and she didn't cascade that as soon as possible to think about this. When a woman get the ring, they be like, and then, oh girl, let me see the ring. Let me see the ring. None of these women are jewelers. They have no prerequisite knowledge of what a VVS or whatever is. It's just that's just the nature of things. So in the idea of if Cam, with his heart and soul, biblically, is convicted to dressing in those get-ups, he has to be himself, regardless if one person's with him or if a million people are with him. It's kind of like leadership. Martin Luther King was going to do that, whether it was 4 people or 4 million people. That's just, he had it on his spirit. If Cam has it on his spirit, who cares what she thinks? And she has to respect this man's spirit. But then she presents her case and then he presents his case. I just got to, that's like Snoop Dogg wife asking him to stop smoking weed. What are we doing? You met me smoking weed. I've never, ever stopped smoking weed, ever. But you thought when I
And
got
yeah,
50, 60, I was going to stop smoking weed. Willie Nelson still smoke weed. Like, what is, so some things are unreasonable.
Hmm.
Cruel and unusual. They're unreasonable requests when you know that that's your person's thing. When you know that that's something that they align with themselves and their traits and their personalities and their passion, then it's unfair to do that. But also, it's not a situation where some people can evolve and become a person and you give enough latitude and license and let them kind of cook. You know what I'm saying? We done got 3 sets of furniture in the last 5 years, but at some point in time, you got to say when. And that second set is like, hey, we just done got 2 sets in a short amount of time. What's really going on? Do you really just want a new house? You got to be willing to ask questions
Yeah.
as opposed to just letting this build up and fester, because that's where it becomes dangerous, when it becomes cancerous, when it starts to build up and now you resent this person because wait a second, I've noticed more clothes on the floor and more. It, it happens when women get pregnant. It happens when people change jobs, shifts, and things like that. Or all of a sudden, I'm just so tired from work. They've been killing me at work. Well, you realize you haven't cooked in 6 months. Like, do you ever plan on cooking again? Because this job might not be for us. This job might not
Might
be.
not be for us.
Yes, yes, because these are us decisions.
Yeah.
These are us decisions. There's no way she came to you and said, "Hey, I'm going for the partner role at the company." And when that happens, I'm not cooking, we're not sexing, I'm not driving myself like she did, I'm not laundrying. I'm not, she didn't say that. She said, I'm going for the partner role because that was my dream. And you was like, my job is to promote your heart's desires and support your dreams. Then when all of those what they call it, side effects,
Mm.
when all like the commercials be like, side effects includes suicides or thoughts of suicide, diarrhea, this, that. It's like, I just my nose itch sometimes. I'm not, that's not worth it. For eczema, my skin just blotchy. I'm not trying to die over this. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that's my thought on that.
What are some common, if you can think of any, things that after the honeymoon and the I do and all that stuff, the initial, that men want women to change unfairly?
That, oh, that men want women to change unfairly. Uh
I'll do the opposite after.
okay, cool. I think men want women to settle down, not wanting to go and shop as much. I think men want women to not ornament themselves in fake up and get all gussy like they did when they was trapping or when they caught you with all of that stuff. Why you
Hmm.
got to get your hair done? Why does it take $500 to get your hair done? Like, you got me. Men have a tendency to believe this was all about him. And now that you're trapped, why do you need bullets? Why why you need a jeep? You
Damn.
hunted and captured the big lion. You don't need all this equipment anymore. This was all this equipment was to capture the lion. Now that the lion is caged, we can sell this equipment on Craigslist or or Macari or something. That's what men think. That's a big misconception.
So it's okay if Shonda doesn't have a twerking knee. She don't need to be twerking.
That is absolutely correct.
Okay.
She puts that, but we talk about women dress for other women. She puts that on herself. I have a very big disdain for a woman. You and I know this type of person. We're not gonna call no names out. They will get dressed up to the nines and look sexy, breast coming out the top of their turtleneck. You know what I'm saying? Spanx is on Spanx is on Spanx, the
Hmm.
red bottom, 67 inches, all this other stuff. Go to the club and be infuriated that dudes keep coming up to them because they're not there for that. They're just there to have a good time with their woman.
Hmm.
Or they're married. You can go somewhere and not look like you're trying to catch. But what they say is, I look like this for me. Then you have to be willing to live with the results of that, because you can go and have fun and look and be in clothes like you made them.
Right.
You can dress yourself down. I'm not saying dress like a homeless, unhoused woman. What I
Yeah.
am saying is,
Yeah.
you know when you at your best. And when you in the attract mode, when you thirst trapping, you know when you thirst trapping. Don't go out like that if you have no intentions on getting mugs thirsty. Don't do it, because that's confusing to dudes when you all ornamented up and then they approach you and you like, didn't you see my ring? I saw a lot. Like you got on a swimsuit.
I agree that it's a way to dress single and a way to
Absolutely.
dress taken.
Absolutely.
And men
Absolutely.
should know it too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And but the thing about with men, ironically, the men that do have some decorum and present themselves as taken are actually accentuating the most attractive thing that women say about men, which is stability. When you do have on a suit or you look like you just got off work, you look like you just there to get a drink at the bar. When you look like you're not hunting, you're the most attractive man to the woman because you're not hunting. When it's a dude they neck is always and they you know what I'm saying, you can see they you know what I'm saying? They binocular blast in their mouth like that.
Yeah, I've heard that. It looks like they were trying too hard or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
usually when you look like you're not hunting, stable, comfortable, for that came from a partnership. So you usually are married
Absolutely.
or in a relationship. So why are they attracted to
Oh,
that's another
I
conversation.
was gonna say women steal stability. Women steal stability. They want this. Think about it. You and I are corporate guys.
Mhm.
The greatest thing you could do, I'll just give people an economics lesson real quick. The cycle of a high level employee is this: you should expect to lose money the first 6 months on that employee because you're training them, you're getting them acclimated to the system. You got to get the laptop provision, you got to da da da, and you got the phone, and they figuring it all out. After 6 months, they hit their stride. Now they know what they're doing. They got the context. They just that. For the next year and a half, 18 months, you're getting the most you can out of that employee. After that, they know all the shortcuts. They know how to they know how to set the screensaver up. They know too much and they're getting over on you. Or they're looking for something else. You get me? So you really have an 18-month window of maximum output for that employee.
Damn.
Dig? And so when you go into this thing, you understand that, hey, it's going to be a time where I'm not getting everything I can, but this is the investment stage. This is where I'm investing in you. And what companies do is, smart ones, they look for people who have been at their job for 2 years and are doing the exact thing they need them to do over here. And then they cut the training curve down significantly. They
Okay.
poach. So you poach those guys, those people, and you say, "Hey, I will give you because like I said, you're losing money for 6 months. So let's say that person making six figures, you just lost $50,000
Mhm.
plus whatever they was losing in real time besides salary. I'll pay you $20,000 more to come over here." People like bet.
Yep.
Now you poached stability. Women have been doing that forever. They see a dude that's working hard, that's been beat down and settled. A horse that has been broken is easier to ride than going out and roping a wild one and taming it. So you get that guy that's been settled, you attract him or distract him, however you want to call it,
Hmm.
and then you bring him into the fold. Now you got a ready-made situation. We had this conversation recently about would look for turnkey in a woman, whereas you don't mind a project. You don't mind a fixer-upper. I am too
Yeah.
old. I want move-in ready, furniture and all.
Okay. So she meets the guy. Now let's fast forward 15 years. Now, what is she wanting him to change unfairly?
Oh, she wants for him to still have the same energy. Take out we go dancing, go on trips, go to church. Like she still believe in the Lord. She wants him to do all these things, stuff with she wants him to love the grandkids like she love the grandkids. She wants him to go and do it. He wants to sit the hell down somewhere and eat a sandwich and watch Scott Van Pelt. You know what I'm saying? Like
So,
he wants to fall asleep watching TV. He doesn't want to come in the bedroom the same time you go in there. I,
are those contractable items?
I think that what happens is when that changes and you notice that's changing, then you have to speak up and say, "Hey, I noticed that we used to sit in the living room. We used to we used to eat in the living room. Now you always want us to eat in the dining room. You set my plate on the dining room table. Why is that? We never used this table. We never used it before. Well, I think we need to start getting some use out of it. For who? For what? For what? The living room was fine. It was. I never had a problem with the living room. You're creating situations because you're in a rut, or you're feeling like you need to mix something up because some outside influence has told you your way isn't the way anymore. When is the last time you did? When's the last time he took you dancing? Okay, man. If that wasn't your thing, who
Do you
cares?
feel like this came from a picture in social media where two people were eating at the dining room table and it looked romantic?
Think what it is that when you look at a lot of different things, influences, whether it be HGTV or even people having conversations, there are things that we have we just don't use. We don't utilize everything. Into dining rooms are not even being built. Formal dining rooms aren't being built in new construction anymore. They don't even build bathtubs in homes anymore like they used to. Like that's an upgrade to get a bathtub because so many people are taking a shower. Everything is
Oh,
so
okay. I
quick.
thought you said people weren't bathing no more.
No, no, no. Yeah, they just take a shower. They rinsing off. But in the concept of when last time you seen a Mr. Bubble commercial? Mugs ain't taking baths like that. So and that used to
I was
be
the one
on.
that took them away. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so the idea is something influenced that person to think, want that to be part of my personality, part of my persona. And I would like for you to help me invest in it. And then your partner, it's a partner decision when it has to do with both of y'all.
Mhm.
The things that you just want to invest in. No dude is. Let me just be very, very clear. If you have the financial means to support a spin class, there's not one guy that's hating on you going to spin class after work. Hey, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm just gonna bring something home, or you gonna have to fend for yourself because I'm going to spin class. And he's like, spin class never has happened. That's never ever happened ever. So there are things you can do for yourself to make yourself feel better that doesn't hurt the team. Now, cooking class, same thing, same exact results. Hey, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm gonna start taking a cooking class for the next 3 weeks, next 6 weeks. So blah blah. How much is that gonna cost? Oh, I've been saving up for it. We good. He's never upset with that unless he think you you cheating on him. Unless he
Yeah.
think
The
you doing something
meals.
else.
Yeah. Why you feel?
Just come on
Yeah.
with the good meals. Just come on with good meals. But the moral of the story is some of these things you do need to do for yourself, but you need to ask yourself, is this diametrically opposed to the success of the relationship we've built? Is this aligned with us or is this just about me? And what you realize is as you get older, if all of your shit is about you, you're outgrowing or not wanting the relationship because you're not investing in a relationship, you're investing in the sole proprietorship. You're investing, you're putting more money in the U account than you are into the joint account. More and more. That's because you're actually trying to build something away from the relationship. You're taking yourself away.
Mhm.
Real simple. And if it's okay, it's okay. But don't act like it's him or he wasn't on my level or I outgrew him. How did you outgrow somebody you had access to every day to gladly learn and teach,
Mhm.
to gladly
Mhm.
expand their horizon?
Motivate. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. How? That's
So,
crazy.
um, a great lady once said, "If you want me to kiss your ass, you got to put it in the contract." Do you know who that is?
I thought it was an actress though. It was
Yeah, yeah.
Monique, wasn't it?
Nah, it was the first Aunt Viv, because she got
Okay,
fired
okay,
because she wasn't kissing Will ass.
okay,
She's like, "Well,
okay.
if you wanted me to kiss your ass, you should have put it in my contract."
That's right. That's right.
So,
That's
um, are you saying that people should expect to lose money the first 6 months of the relationship?
yes, yes, yes,
The
yes,
woman
guaranteed.
too?
Yes, yes.
Okay, we'll address
To
that in a
bring it back to
later.
business terms, you have capital investment and operation. You have capital expenses and operational expenses. The capital expense is always the greatest because it's what you need to buy to get the business going. Then once the business is going, that's how you get a return on investment. The investment comes first, the return comes later. People want returns initially. That is the stupidest thing in the world.
So, your final thoughts to Miss Aaliyah
Yes,
to get a resolution.
yes,
Am I supposed to change or are you supposed to change? What are you saying?
yes, both. Yes, and both. We are supposed to change collectively for the relationship to resolve itself and to evolve. We have to be willing to listen, learn, and change. It's not always simultaneously, but it's going to be some give and take. And the reason why that becomes important is because if she, I told you this before, I was in a relationship, she stopped eating pork.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Then about 4 months later, she stopped eating beef. Oh, yeah, we're not going to make it. We're not going to make it. We're not gonna make it. We're not going to make it. Because ultimately, you're on the path to being a vegan or a vegetarian. Therefore, our restaurant choice at this time, our restaurant choices change drastically. And the one thing that people do, especially Black folks, we break bread together as a culture to show our closeness. We eat and laugh and drink and up. And when you stop drinking alcohol, you stop eating beef, you stop eating pork, and then you stop eating chicken. And then we got to go and ask, what's in there? What do y'all put? Do y'all use peanuts? You're not even allergic to stuff. What are we? It's going to be exhausting to try to keep up with what you're trying to become. I need to understand from you why. Why was the woman I fell in love with that I thought was great no longer good enough for you? Well, I want to get better. Why is this better to you? Well, I just think from a health perspective, you can get hit by a bus tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's no correlation between you not getting cancer and you not eating pork or you not eating beef. Like, what are we talking about really? And what ends up happening is it was in a magazine. At the last line at the grocery store, a magazine cover said, if you went pescatarian or vegans have more fun or some kind of programming that sold you to affect us. Because when you were making these changes for you, it was affecting us in the relationship. The refrigerator stinks now. Like everything's, the grocery bill is higher because everything has to be fresh, organic. All these things are us decisions that you made for you. You're investing in your account and taking away from the relationship account.
Mhm.
So now the only recourse I have is to put some of my. Guess what happens? The more you invest in you, the less you invest in a relationship account, it starts to stagnate. Then I recognize it. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm not gonna be out. I'm not gonna be the only one. And the relationship is doing this. Individually, we're growing. The
Mhm.
relationship is doing this. And it's not until you're out on your own and realize the market is not as attractive for who you are now.
Yeah.
Jaded, bitter. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how much bread you got, you trying to hold on to you. I'll never have a joint with another mug because the way she, you now you got all this baggage.
Mhm.
Bag lady, Erica Badu. You know what I'm saying? You gonna miss your
You don't
bus.
miss your bus, right? Your
So
bus of happiness.
right, exactly. So that's what happens in situations. But I have a fascination with audacity and consistency. And if he's been that way since you met him as an adult, he's shown you who he was the entire time. Maya Angelou said, when people show you who they are, believe them.
What did
He,
Kanye say? He said something like that.
yeah, absolutely.
What did he
Absolutely.
say? I told you who I thought I
I
was.
was. Yeah, 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 exactly. But he said it with a, you know what I'm saying? What did we, how stupid are you? He said it with indignation. The concept is people are who they are. And if they've been that over time, what made you believe they should change because you did when you didn't change for the relationship? A relationship is a contract where you guys negotiate and understand the equal balance of the task at hand and what we're both trying to contribute towards the relate. We're feeding the relationship so it nurtures and grows and gets stronger. If you're taking away your nourishment, the relationship can't get as strong. But what you're saying is you need to give it more. You're weakening me
Mhm.
to feed the relationship more, and you hold more to yourself. So you're strengthening. The only thing that's getting weaker is me. And then eventually I'm like, wait a second. The relationship's not strong as I thought it was. I'm weak as hell, and you strapped and you're ready. It was like somebody talked about getting a divorce insurance. I don't know. You remember that years ago, and they was like, I should have been saving my money all this time just in case we didn't make it.
Right.
What the fuck? Like, that is
You was
crazy.
already half-assing it.
Man, you ain't lying.
You hyphenated your name. You wasn't
Man,
contributing. You had this separate account just in case.
man,
You still got
it can't be as
yeah.
strong. I'm not saying it can't work. It can't work consistently, successfully, and for a long period of time. That's a young man's game and a short lifespan for somebody who's always hedging their bets by not opening up and being vulnerable to the relationship. We gotta both put it's the whole we gotta both put our left foot in and put our right foot in. We gotta shake it all about together. It can't just be me. And that's that, that goes back to what we talked about with the 50-50 and all this other stuff. Man, when you start doing that type of counting and you just not giving the ounces. We talk about the ounces. When you're not giving, and I'm not saying your 50%, your 100% the same as mine, but I just need 100. I chose you for a good reason. I don't need somebody to make exactly my amount that I make, be the exact same height. Like I said, it'd be exhausting to be with me. Right? But I need you to accentuate me and give me 100% of what you got. I'll give you 100% of what I got. And that's what's going into the relationship. We're investing 100%. When you talk about compound investments and interest growth and retirement, they say put as much as you can. Sacrifice this, sacrifice that, and it'll compound over the years to where you'll have enough to retire on comfortably. That's how you have to treat a relationship. And when you don't, you end up in a situation where you look up like, I can't stand this mug. But he's been this mug the entire time. She's been this person. She's never clean. She's never wanted to drive. You know what I'm saying? She always had excuses. She always bought too many shoes. She never threw things away. She never donated enough. Like it was certain things where she's always been this way. Shame on you. What made you think she was going? I got a boy, and he took us. We was all eating at IHOP. And he was like, "Man, I'm gonna marry her." And my best friend was like, "Marry who? What you mean?" And he said her name, and he was like, "Why? All you do is complain about her." And he started bringing up all the complaints. And he was like, "No, that's because she told me it's different when you just gone with somebody and when you married to somebody. You have to show me you as a wife before that's an audition. I'm showing you me as a husband. You have to show me you as a wife, and then the investment, and then the return on investment. You just want the return, and then I'll invest. That's like saying, give me the money, and then I'll invest. What are we talking about?"
It didn't say who finding a girlfriend that he believed in. He said finding a wife, right?
Positive thing. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's it. But when you start expecting somebody to be who they weren't because you decided that it's no longer good enough for you, do some soul searching. Ask yourself, what changed about me? What event happened? Because sometimes external things will create an epiphany. And you say, you know what? I didn't see this going this way, but now that I know, I don't like it. Express that to your partner, and if they like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm gonna smoke these squares. Like I'm addicted to nicotine. And I have no reason to get up. I snore. I'm not
Yeah.
going to the sleep clinic.
Yeah.
Then you say, "Well, I just can't live with a snore." Okay, congrats. I just told you I told you who I thought I was,
And I like snoring.
and I
Yes.
like snore. So, and at that point, now you've made a decision in your spirit that you have to abide by. But you got to live with that. Once you get on that, you got to live with that because be careful what you wish for. When you change things, it changes the whole equation. And you think you're changing this and this and this specifically, but it has ripple effects in other areas. It has really compound effects, especially when you meet somebody that's already an adult.
Yeah. Any final thoughts? I mean,
That's that. Just be honest with yourself. Yeah, I'm always big on the you. Starts with you. Be honest with yourself and say, hey, am I being fair? Am I being considerate? Is this person? Because the quick thing is to blame the other person. They changed and they not being this anymore, not being that anymore. When was the last time they was that? And then you start thinking about it like, oh shit, it's
never.
been 22 years or never. What the hell? You probably should have said something 21 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Phases do happen. But if you can't ride out that phase, you just bowing down or folding over. If you let somebody kick you 5 times, they go kick you 5 times. That's just the nature of people. And so if you keep being, there's a quote that says, if you keep finding yourself having to be the bigger person, I'll combine these quotes. If you keep finding yourself have to be in the bigger person, you got to change people.
I just said go on a diet. Okay. All right. Well, I wear colorful shirts.